What's up, model building geeks? Hey, it's Brian, and thanks again for tuning in to BG Model Workshop. We are doing a quick update on the Nissan R390 GT1. We're doing that as a Tamita kit, and we're doing that as a buddy build with Mr. James Duff over at the Stash Project and Mr. Ari Styrene over at Ari Styrene. So, I'm sure you guys are familiar with those folks, but if you're not, check out their channels. They are James over at the Stash Project is a wealth of knowledge. We jokingly refer to him as the Notebook of Knowledge, and then he corrected us and showed us what the Notebook of Knowledge really is. He's just simply the person that reads from the Notebook of Knowledge. So apparently he's interchangeable, but the notebook itself is not. Also, Mr. Ari Styrene, a very good builder, really nice guy, and he builds all genres: military, cars. I think he's done a boat or some sort of ship in the past. I know that he has something like that in his stash, and he's itching to get to that. But anyway, I digress, and back on to topic. So, where are we with our build? We've gotten a primer on everything. We've gotten some color on some stuff, and we're moving on from there. Our chassis pan, we'll start from the ground up on this particular thing. Our chassis pan here, we're still having some trouble with our masking ability, so apparently we can't do straight lines very well. And oh, I have this set for cataract vision. There we go. So look at that there. Isn't that great? So if I can figure out how to mask straight lines, I'll be golden, and I can move on to learning how to use scissors that don't have red handles. So yeah, this basically it there. That's pretty much it. We did do a panel line wash in here to deepen some of the the grooves. Panel lines, I guess, is the best way to say it. But yeah, we've done that. It looks pretty good. We were going to build up the engine and transaxle and put that in place. We went to unmask it, and we had an issue. I refer to these as the frog legs, and you can probably figure out why. And if these are frog legs, then it's probably from a male frog. You be the judge. So when we took the masking tape off, this little bit down here liked the masking tape so much it wanted to stay with it, so it came off cleanly. We did reattach it, and I think it's going to be okay. I've given it a couple of days to cure up real nice and solid, so that when we do our build, our assembly of that particular part of the car, that we won't have any issues, because this car does not have the cheat of a metal axle going through there. This is all pretty much held up and suspended by its own suspension pieces. So to me, it's not cheating at all with this kit, which is cool. I think that's a great thing to do. Let's see here. So this color here, this is actually a mixture of, let's see here, gunmetal, X10 and blurry, and then let's see, X12 silver leaf, and excuse me, I take that back, gold leaf, X12, and that kind of mixes up to a really cool looking color. I think that's pretty slick. And then we did do the airbrush. We airbrushed all that on there, and I tell you what, guys, airbrushing Tamiya paints, especially the jar paints, very cool, very easy, very fun. So much different than trying to airbrush the Testors enamel stuff. And I'm not knocking Testors. I mean, that's what I grew up with, and then I finally got into the Tamiya world. But they are two different types of painting systems. One's an enamel that just never seems to cure, and one's an alcohol-based acrylic, which seems like it cures very fast. And you can handle the parts within I don't know, hour, half an hour, something like that, depending on your painting technique and your weather and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, moving right along. This is the lower half of our interior tub, and this is all molded in place. This is actually, I think, part of the fire suppression system, and this here, I believe, is actually part of the cooling duct for the cockpit. I've seen some photographic evidence to show that this has like a little tin plate over the front of it, and the driver can remove it or partially block it off or whatever like that, depending on his cooling needs. And then over here we have our control pedals, and I'm actually thinking about hitting those with some aluminum to bring them out rather than have them hide in the world of black down there. So the upper bit of the interior, this looks really cool. I mean, this, if I take off this piece here, which is the bulkhead, this is all one piece. Even all this detail molded down in there, that's all part of it. That's just Oh man, I just freaking love it. This shift lever over here, that's a piece that we actually had to glue in place, but everything else was molded in place. So that's just really awesome. There's some nice specific color call outs on how to do up the communication boxes. And back here, this piece is actually molded separately, but it's kind of nice to have a little decal on there and some more color call outs on painting. On the back side of that bulkhead, we got some more plumbing that we kind of picked out a little bit. I got to clean up a couple of my pipes. They're a little bit messy. But I'm kind of thinking about hitting these guys up here, these cylinders up here, with maybe some transparent colors to make it look more like an anodized bit. So that's all the interior stuff. Oh, I'll just show you the dash real quick here. I'll just show you the dash. The decals laid down fairly well. I had a little bit of trouble with this guy for the instrumentation because it was quite a bit larger than the actual area that it was going into, so we got it down as best we can, and quite literally we can't see it when we put it all together, so that's too sad. I do want to do some detail work on the switches and levers here that we see on the instrument panel. Some of that stuff's supposed to be like green and blue, stuff like that, and there's one little red knob for the battery switch off. Let's see here. Oh, let's get our body out of the garage. There we go. And it's pink. Oh my God, Brian, why'd you paint that pink? Well, I have a specific reason why I wanted to paint that pink for a primer, because we did the TS49, which is today's representation of what the kit refers to as MS3. They don't have that color in the lineup anymore, but TS49, I think, is the cross-reference for it now. So this is with gray primer, and we have it labeled. This is a gray primer spoon, and Mrs. BG is also very happy that I started using the plastic spoons, because apparently she was getting kind of mad about me using the metal ones out of the silverware drawer. So we did pink primer. You know, probably cameras are gonna make us lie, but you can see, if you can see, this is actually a much more vibrant color. The one on top, that's the pink primer, as opposed to the one on the bottom, which is the gray primer. So the pink primer gave us a little bit more of a vibrant color. I like that more than this deeper tomato color that's down here. So we went with the pink primer. Also, yeah, I could have used white primer. The spoons showed very little difference in the color tone, but these kits are molded in white, and putting white primer over a white model kit, that's a good way to go blind. So I had done a white primer coat, and I missed a lot of spots, so I went back and sanded it down, and then went back and hit it with the pink primer, and I think it looks spiffy cool now. We're on the right path. And also the black's going to cover the pink no problem, so it's not going to be an issue. Here's our turbos. This is just one side. I think this is the driver's side. No, I shouldn't say driver. Well, in the Americas, it's the driver's side. The rest of the world, it's not. But yeah, I want to do some heat staining on these guys before we attach them. And I think this bit here, this is the actual exhaust port right there. That's supposed to be a different color than what it is right now, but we will take care of that post-haste. There was small little decals to put all over the place, and here's one of our valve covers. It's got the little Nissan logo on there. That looks really good. I like that a lot. So we're getting anxious to do final assembly, but I had to wait for that frog leg to get fully cured up on there when it broke. So that kind of stalled the process, and we went on to painting the body and everything. So we're hoping that today we can actually wet sand and lay down our red on there, and then let that cure up for tomorrow, and then maybe try our black sometime later on this weekend maybe. Here's our intercooler. It does have little decals on the top there. Also, just did we did a flat coat, to me a flat, which I don't recall the number on that one, I'm sorry, but we did do a panel line on the air to bring out the detail on the screens. So that's looking pretty cool. And we did do flat coats on our wheels. I like that much better. And then we're probably going to see if we can paint up the lug nut that's in there. I think those are supposed to be like an anodized blue or some jazz. But we'll do some research on that. And then for our smalls, I'll show you, just dig out one really cool thing here. We did transparent red airbrush over silver leaf silver. And oh man, that looks really cool. I'm tempted to do one more pass just to deepen the red a little bit, but I'm also at the same time like, I'm happy with it. So I think we might just leave that as it is, because it's looking pretty cool already. All right, y'all, thanks for tuning in again. I apologize for the length of this update, but there was a lot to cover, and I felt chatty, so it is what it is. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. And remember, if you're one of the chosen few that's actually considered to be essential personnel for whatever business you're doing, I would consider you a hero. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.